Hi, I'm Joanne. Welcome to yoga. Thanks for joining me. We're going to start over a roll. So I want you to take a blanket or towel, whatever you've got handy, and make a small roll. It should be comfortable to lay over without being too tall. So I like mine about this height, and I'm fairly flexible. So, you know how flexible you are in the chest and upper back. We're opening our chest up. So most of us do this at work all day and round forward. So just be kind to yourself. I want you to feel like you can lay there for a few minutes at the beginning of practice. So it shouldn't be too tall. So you're going to place the roll under your shoulder blade. And you want the roll, if you were to bring your hand behind your back, to come, the top of the roll to come just at the tip of this blade. So where your little chicken wing kind of sticks out when you bring your arm back. Or almost where a bra strap is, it's a touch higher than that if you're a woman or a man who wears bras. Okay, so I think most people know where a bra strap lands. So we're going to come onto the back and check yourself out, see where that roll lands. So the idea here is just to open the chest and upper back and the shoulders. So my blade and the top of the roll. So a lot of times people place it too low. So make sure it's pretty up there. So it's just creating a nice lift in the chest. And the shoulder blade is above the roll itself. So it's not on the roll, it's just above it. That's going to help facilitate opening through the chest. So you're going to let your arms just kind of fan out to the sides. And then make sure the neck is also neutral. Now with the roll, you might lift your head. So if that's the case, place a little prop, thin book or blanket under your head. So the head is neutral. We don't want the chin lifted. We want the neck neutral. So make sure that's the case. And then with the legs, you can either bend the knees to place your feet on the floor if this feels too much for your lower back, or if you're sore in your low back at all. Take your feet wide, knees come toward the center. It's a nice way to rest, or you could have the feet parallel, knees open, or you can stretch the legs all the way out. So whatever feels most comfortable for your back. Good, and then you're just going to let the eyes gently close once you're set up. It takes a few minutes to get set up, so take the time to do that. And then once you get there, make sure the shoulders aren't hunched up by the ears too. Mine was just a little up, so I'm drawing the shoulders flat back and down to the floor, chest lifts. Again, let the eyes gently close. You might part your lips to make sure that your jaw is relaxed. And then begin to just drop into the body. So letting go of any thoughts in the mind. Bring your awareness to your breath. So you're going to slow your breath down just a little bit. Expanding on your inhale, I want you to feel on the inhale, you're starting the breath in the belly as usual, and you're bringing that breath up and over the roll, right? So it's a nice three-dimensional wave up and over the roll. And then the exhale, reverse that wave. So chest comes down over the roll, ribs come back in, and then squeeze the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale. And start that cycle again. So nice, full, deep belly breaths. Fanning the chest over the roll with each inhale. And softening with each exhale. And letting go. And then if you notice it's intense or too tight in the chest or shoulders, like it's too much to maintain this position, you need to make your roll a little bit smaller so you can stay here comfortably for several breaths. nice passive chest opener here. And as you're breathing and relaxing, just notice what's going on in the body with the breath and in the mind. See if you can just relax. It's always nice at the beginning of our practice. If you'd like, you can set an intention or dedication if you want to. Not required, but it is something nice to do. You might dedicate the practice. I'm going to dedicate my practice today, the calm before the storm, to all the critters outside for this ice storm we're about to get. Sending all the good vibes to all the critters and people that might be outside. Hopefully everyone gets through okay. So that's my dedication today. So you create your own. Or you might focus on your breath today or alignment, depending on when you're watching this. You might not be doing this, obviously, at this time. So whatever works for your practice when you're watching this. We'll just take a few more breath cycles here over the roll. So allow your breath to expand and soften. Great, let's take one more breath cycle here. Nice deep inhale over that roll. Expand, open the chest, exhale, soften, back down over your roll. Letting go. Good, and then whenever you're ready, bending the knees if they're not already bent, to place your feet on the floor. I'm gonna move the roll from under my head, and then you're gonna peel up. Lift your hips up, and if you can, I'm laying on my roll a little bit, so I'm just going to have to move over to my side and pull it out. So remove the roll from your back, and then come back down onto your back for a moment. Keep the knees bent with the feet on the floor about a hip width apart. Let the arms just kind of fall out to the side. Walk your shoulders down, away from the ears. Gently rock the head side to side to make the neck nice and neutral on the floor. Bring your head back to center and just observe how that feels. So let's take a nice deep breath here. So hopefully the breath feels easier and freer in the chest and the whole torso. Let's do another breath. Good, and then slowly bring your knees into your chest to stretch out the low back. Bring your hands to your shins, squeeze the knees in, and just gently rock side to side. A small movement here. Might move the knees out a little bit, make a little half circle, massage the lower back. A couple of times. Good, then come back to stillness at the center. And then take your arms out to the side. No, actually, hold on to your shins. Sorry. We're going to roll onto the side. So you're going to bring your body all the way over to one side. And then if you're comfortable, you're going to continue. And I want you to watch me do this so you know what I'm doing, because it's hard to articulate. So I'm on my side, and then I'm going to roll onto my forehead and look behind me. So a little neck release as you look back. If that's comfortable. If you're wearing glasses, obviously you'll need to take those off. So come back to center, and then take a look again. Roll to the side, and then the forehead looks the opposite direction from your body. If that's comfortable for your neck. If it's not, then don't do it. You can just roll side to side without the neck. As always, don't do anything in yoga that's painful. Listen to your body. So if you're with me, a couple more rolls side to side. Maybe releasing the neck, maybe not. I like this one. I don't do it very often, but I do like it. Nice little neck release. One more time. Good, and then we'll come back to center of the mat. Squeeze your knees in. Lower your feet to the floor, hip distance apart. Feet about hip distance apart parallel. You might use a block between your knees here. Keeping that intention so the knees don't splay out toward the midline. Walk your hands down next to your hips. Walk your heels in close to your glutes. Good. And then relax your pelvis toward the floor. From here, nice, even, gentle pressure in your hands and feet. Neck is neutral, so you don't want to turn your head when you do this. We're just going to kind of engage our core and our hips a little bit to open the back. So you're going to push the low back to the floor. Feel your pelvis tilt a little bit forward and then relax. So just a couple of those to kind of feel that sensation in the core. Press the low back down and then release. And then your sacrum is that triangular bone at the base of your spine here. It's going to be kind of flat on the floor. And then press the back down, tilt the pelvis a little forward so these hip points come toward you, engage your core, and release. So it's a super small movement. We're going to make it a little bigger in a second. One more of those, squeeze down and release. Good. From here, we're going to come all the way up in a little bridge now, just to stretch the low back the other way. Hands and feet on the floor, even pressure. Lift your hips up. So peel up and gently lift toward the sky. Here's where you want to keep your knees from splaying out. Keep them together. And lift. Pelvis lifts. Make sure the neck is neutral here. Inhale deeply at the top. Exhale, lower. See if you can go one vertebra at a time to the floor. And relax onto that flat sacral bone. Your abdomen, your back, low back will lift a little bit off the floor here if it doesn't have any pathology in it or flattening. So let's do that again. Press the back down and then peel up, lift. Deep breath at the top. Feel that nice stretch in the quads here. Exhale, lower. You shouldn't have any discomfort in the knees. And release. Good. We're going to do that one more time. Peel up, inhale, lift. Good. And then pause at the top here. You might just keep the hands where they are. You might clasp the hands underneath you, roll your shoulders underneath a little further to get a little more lift. Neck should be neutral. Couple deep breaths here at the top. One more breath. Good. Exhale, slowly lower down. Good. Release the legs. Take your arms out to a T position. Walk your feet out a little bit so they're a little more relaxed. And just windshield wiper your legs side to side. Feel this in your gluteus, a little bit of a massage side to side. Good. One more time. And then bring the legs back to center. So we're going to bring the knees into the chest again. This time we're going to hold behind the knee. Relax your feet. Now, this is optional, so I really encourage you to not do this if it doesn't work for you. It might be difficult for a lot of people. So again, don't turn your head when you do it. Neck is straight. Knees are hugged into the chest. We're going to kind of rock forward and back on the spine. So make sure you're not looking toward the screen as you do this. Keep the head neutral. And then if this obviously doesn't feel good, don't do it. But just a gentle momentum, just warming up the spine, rocking forward and back. You can play with balancing as you come up, so engaging your core a bit. That's optional. Lift. Good, and obviously don't do anything if it's uncomfortable, you want the roll to be a little smooth, not too like bumpy. So good. And then one more time, and then we're going to roll all the way up to a seat. Good. And then I'll come to the mat. So now grab whatever prop or blanket you've got handy if you need a little lift to elevate the hips. We'll come to a seat for a few minutes. So sitting up nice and tall. And then if this is uncomfortable, you might elevate your hips a little higher. You might even sit on a chair. So whatever works for your body today might be different than yesterday. So that's all good. So sitting up nice and tall, and then think about lifting up through the core, ground your hips, drop your shoulders, little weight in the elbows, hands rest on the thighs, retract your chin just slightly. So you're nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. Good. Exhale, bow your chin to the chest. Hopefully already feeling a little more open here in the chest. And then just gently rock side to side, ear to shoulder. Keep moving the breath. Stretching our neck a little more. Good. And then come to that first side. Inhale, open. Drop your shoulders, lift through the pelvis, ear over shoulder. Walk the other hand out to the side. Reach it out toward the floor. Let it touch the floor or a block, whatever's comfortable. Keep lifting. Retract your chin just a little, and then just rotate the head. So I know we do this a lot. Look down over your shoulder on this same side where the head is tilted toward. Inhale and gaze up to the opposite corner. So you're thinking of a nice diagonal line here. So we're rotating, not lifting, and extending. So rotating the head, breathing as you move the head up and down on an angle. So feeling that through the front and the back of the neck. Good. Let's do that one more time. Deep breaths. Good. Drop the chin. Inhale to the other side. Bring the arm in. You're over the other shoulder now. Extend that other arm out and down to the block or floor. Lift. Check your posture. And then as you're ready again, rotate. Head down. Now we're angling the other way and up. Good. And you can play with the angle here a little bit. So make sure you're feeling sort of an optimal stretch for you. If anything's painful, don't do that. Keep breathing as you move. So the breath is helping to circulate the oxygen and blood in our tissues so we can really affect a lot of change as long as we're breathing nice and deep. One more time. Good. Bring the head to neutral. Drop the chin forward. Lift the head upright. Bring the arms by the side. And let's shrug the shoulders up by the ears and down the back. A couple more of those. Squeeze and release. And one more time. Squeeze and release. Good. We're going to inhale and reach the arms up. Deep breath in. Exhale. Float the arms halfway down. Drop your shoulders, pull apart as far as you can, and then flex the hands toward the face. Feel that in your forearms, and then bring the hands toward the floor. Good. Flex. This is actually extend and flex. I always do that. And extend. Good. Flex. And then make sure your shoulders are relaxed so they're not tight and up by the ears, creating tension. Drop your shoulders, lift, and flex. Extend and flex. And here we want to make sure the elbows are lengthening out. So nice long arm, almost locked, but don't lock it out. But we don't want to be soft here because we're really getting into the whole arm chain all the way up into the pecs. So a couple more, one more time. Let's do one more. And then reach out, soften your shoulders, bring the fingers toward your face again. So extend, and then drop your shoulders a little further. So make sure they're relaxed, chin retracts. We're gonna rotate the fingers forward. So you're rotating the joint, the whole arm bone in the shoulder joint. So rotate forward and back. So getting as much motion in that shoulder joint as you can without moving your shoulder. So we're rotating the arm in the socket. Good. Couple more breathing. So good if you have neck and shoulder stuff to try to get as much range of motion in the joint as possible. One more time. Good. And let's relax the arms down. Let them relax and then shrug the shoulders again one more time. Good. And then we're going to walk our hands in front of us. Slowly reach out. And then if you've got your legs crossed, whichever leg is in front, walk your hands out and then walk over to that side. A nice deep stretch for your hip here. Soften, relax forward, relax your head. You should feel that in this outer hip, so I want you to take a couple deep breaths there. Good, one more breath. Slowly walk your hands to center and slowly sit back upright. And then switch the cross of your legs. So walk your other leg in front. And then we're gonna sit here for a moment. Inhale, reach up. Good, exhale, float the arms down. Soften. Lean forward slightly like you're looking over a cliff. And then swing one arm under the other. So just remember which arm is underneath. Bring your posture upright again. We're going to do eagle arms here to stretch the back of our shoulder blades. So walking the hands to the shoulder or hands back to back or palm to palm if that's not too much of a stretch. So you'll have to figure out what works. Make sure you're nice and aligned again. Bring your shoulders over your hips, chin retract slightly. Wherever you are with the arms, you can maybe lift the elbows higher to deepen the stretch. Let's just bring it. We're going to kind of move the elbows up and down. So like a little massage. Just a couple of those. Breathing into that stretch. You should feel this between your shoulder blades. And the arm that's kind of on top, you're going to feel that in your levator scapula muscle, which goes into the neck and the shoulder. So one more inhale up and down. Good. Take one more breath here. Slowly, wherever your arms are, just release out. Soften, shoulder shrug here. Good, remember which arm is underneath. Inhale, lift. Good, exhale, lower. Pull out, soften the shoulders, lean gently forward, and then bring the other elbow on top or underneath, whichever one. Come back upright, nice and tall with your posture. Might be different on this side, the arm position that works. That's fine, just notice how it feels. So you should be stretching the other shoulder now, and then inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, soften. A few more breaths. Inhale up and down. Should feel like a good kind of massage or flossing for the shoulder joint. Take one more breath. Good. Back to neutral. Slowly unwind. Relax. Shrug your shoulders. Soften. Good. Walk your hands forward again. We'll stretch that other hip. So your other foot is in front now, so you're going to walk toward that side. Reach and then soften. Feeling out in the outer hip and breathe into that hip. Couple breaths. One more breath. And slowly walk back to center and back, sitting up. Excellent. Take your legs out and just give them a little shake. Relax them out. Good, and then we're going to come into a tabletop position. So you might use your proper blanket for your knees. And then if you have any wrist issues, you're welcome to take fists here. So tap your feet out a little bit on the floor. Activate the feet toward the floor so the knee is pretty much under the hip and your palm or wrist is pretty much under the shoulder. So we're nice and stable and supported. Press the mat away from you. Open the inside of your elbow toward the front of the mat, and then make sure you're not locking your elbow joint. So a little softness to the joint. Engage your navel towards your spine, looking down in front of you. We'll take some cat-cows from here. So we're going to inhale, drop the belly, and bring the tail and the crown to opposite corners of the room. So imagine pulling your chest through your shoulders. Exhale as you press up. Really press the spine up. Drop the chin. Drop the tailbone. Activate your feet and your finger pads. Good. Inhale, open. Think length and space. Exhale, round and press up. Really pull apart your shoulder blades here. Round your spine. Good. Inhale as you open and exhale as you close. So let your breath be your guide. Do 2 more. Inhale, open. Exhale, round. And 1 more. Good. Come back to center. Good. So from here, we're going to kind of go side to side. We're going to get into a little more lateral flexion. So you're going to look over your shoulder toward your hip and then bring your hip toward your ear. So creating a little C shape with the spine. Avoid dropping the belly here. Keep the navel engaged a little bit. And then just wag your tail side to side, looking over your shoulder. If you can see your hip behind you, side to side. Not dumping into your back here. Core is a little bit active to protect your low back. Keep breathing. Good. 1 more side to side. Good. Come back to a neutral spine. Good. From here, we're going to tuck the toes under. And then we're going to kind of push back into our hips to stretch the bottom of your feet. So this might be intense. That's probably true. Not often we get this position to stretch our feet. So see if you can get all 10 toes under and then expose that big tendon in the bottom of your foot. And just gently press back. If this is painful, clearly take it easy. You can back out. You don't have to come all the way back. You might relax your head down. You might even reach around and just massage the bottom of your foot gently on either side. A little attention to the feet. Stretching back out, inhale, lift. Keeping the toes a little tucked under. You can give them a little rest if they need. Deep breath in, and then I'm going to have us come into downward dog from here. So make sure that the inside of the elbow is pointed forward with a micro bend. Arms are under shoulders. Knees can walk back just a touch behind your hips. Deep breath in, and then as you're ready, slowly peel your hips up. And keep the knees bent here, so you're kind of pushing your chest toward your thighs, and then just pedal one knee, bend one knee, and then the other. Walking out your dog. So we might feel tight in the hamstrings. That's pretty typical at the beginning of the practice. So a couple more, walk your dog out. Good. And then let's come all the way to the front of the mat. So walk yourself forward to the front, standing forward fold. Measure about 2 fists between the feet. Hip width. Edges of the feet are parallel. So your feet shouldn't be turned out like this or turned in. So see if you can make your big toes point straight forward, which means this outside edge of your hip, of your foot is going to be parallel to the edge of your mat. So a lot of times our feet will turn out. We want to keep them nice and straight so they're a little bit in and your heels are a little bit apart. Hopefully that makes sense. Relax here. Shake out a little bit. You might sway gently side to side. Play with the weight on the feet a little bit. And then see if you can completely let go of anything in the upper body. Just relax it. Totally. Shake your head. Face is relaxed. Maybe take a deep breath in and sigh it out through the mouth. And then as you're ready, nice and slow, tuck your tailbone. See if you can keep the upper body passive as you roll up slowly, nice and slow, one vertebra at a time. Good. Coming all the way up to the top of your mat, you might roll your shoulders up and then down the back. Let's make sure we've got a neutral pelvis. Good. Arms by the side. So those feet are parallel, hip width apart, even weight, open the chest, neutral pelvis. And then we're going to reach the arms back behind us as we open our chest again. Breathe in. Send the arms all the way up. Maybe they touch. And I want you to feel this from the armpit into the hips. A nice side stretch. And then exhale, float the arms down. We're going to do that twice more. So I want you to keep the pelvis neutral. Inhale, reach back. Open the chest. Exhale, reach back, pull the arms out. Not letting our ribs jut forward. One more time, reach. Good, and then this time we're gonna soften our knees, swan dive, pull the arms behind you, lengthen the spine forward, all the way down to forward bend. Inhale, flat back, open your chest so your back is parallel to the mat. And then exhale, fold again. Hands are planted next to your feet. You're going to take a giant step back with your right or left leg, whichever side you want to start on. Starting with my right leg back. My left foot is, the knee is above the heel. Scissor your legs and then lift up. Stretching this back hip flexor here. So nice and sturdy in our position. Lift. If you're ready, you can add the arms, soften your shoulders, and extend your fingers. So breathing deeply here, you should feel this stretch. If it's too much, take this knee closer. If it's too easy, take the knee further away. Keep your tailbone neutral. So a little bit tucked here, even. Good, take one more breath. Good, slowly exhale to frame, hands frame the front foot. Tuck your back toes, lift your knee. Take your hips up, and we're going to step back to downward dog. Maybe pedal out again. Good, and then we're going to float into plank position. I want you to think about moving your muscles around your bones as you float yourself up. Plank pose. Exhale, drop your knees right where they are. Chest comes between your hands. Bend at the elbow and lower down. Good. Slide yourself down all the way to the mat, tops of the feet to the floor, and pull your heart forward for Cobra. See if you can pull your shoulder blades back, tuck your tailbone, breathe into your belly. Neck is long and loose. Take one more breath. Good. Release the chest down. Tuck your toes. You can push up through tabletop or straight back downward dog. From here, bend your knees, gaze forward. You can walk, step, or hop to the front. We're going to meet in forward bend. So if you're stepping, your foot doesn't come through, reach back, pull it forward. Try to be light on your feet, however you go. Fold here, soften the knees as much as you need, forehead tucks. And when you're ready, roll it up with a passive upper body. Slowly back to the top of your mat, shrug your shoulders to open the chest. Nice and neutral again. Good, reach back, inhale, lift. Slowly exhale as you swan dive back down, forward bend. Inhale, float you up halfway. And exhale, bow. Take our other leg back this time. So I'm on my left side, left leg back, drop the knee and curl the toes. Find that position that works good for you, keeping this front leg nice and stable. And lift. As you're ready, add the arms, tuck your tailbone slightly. Soften your shoulders. Feeling that nice hip flexor stretch with your breathing. Nice deep breath, one more time. Good, float your hands down, exhale. Tuck your toes, lift the knee. Let's lift the hips and step back again to downward dog. Maybe pedal your feet. Good, engage your muscles as you float into plank position. Nice and strong. Drop your knees, your chest, and your chin. Slide into your Cobra, open your chest. Feet are glued. One more breath. Good, releasing down. Tuck the toes and slowly make your way to downward dog. Good, again, we'll make our way to the front of the mat, so bend your knees. And if you started with the right leg forward last time, maybe start with the left leg forward this time. If you're stepping, you might be walking, you might be hopping. Being mindful of your movements, hold. Hang out and roll it up nice and slow. Good, back to your mountain pose. Good, let's inhale, reach. Maybe the hands touch, exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Good, inhale, flat back. And exhale, bow. Plant those hands, let's take a giant step back with the right leg again. And then with your hands framing the foot, we're gonna pivot that back foot down, and you wanna check alignment, heel to arch or heel to heel alignment. And then you wanna use that front quad to lift up into a warrior two stance. Good. So warrior two, reach the arms out long, gaze to your front hand where the knee is bent. Open the knee, let the hip open out. Back foot is firmly rooted. Torso's tall. Soft shoulders, extend the fingers, breathe here. Feel a little power in your warrior two. Lots of integrity here. You're welcome to go deeper if you want to take a deeper stance. Make sure this knee doesn't move past the heels, maybe a wider stance. Pelvis is still neutral. Good. And then make sure your back arm isn't dropping like mine was, nice and even. Good, we're gonna try side angle pose from here. So I want you to breathe in, grow tall. Legs are still working. We're gonna take the forearm to the front thigh. The top arm is gonna reach up and over toward the ear. So biceps right next to your ear here. See if you can create a nice smooth line of energy from your fingers to the outer edge of your back foot. Notice my hip isn't lifted here and my front leg is still nice and bent. Nice and open in your chest here. Good, try not to lean on this arm. Press it into the leg to create space for the neck. Take one more breath. You should be feeling a great stretch for the whole side of your body while you're working that front quad a little bit. And then you're gonna take this top arm and you're gonna see if you can touch the ceiling with it. Reach your arm up, use your torso to lift yourself back up to warrior two. Good. So trying not to use momentum as we come up, breathe in. Slowly cartwheel your hands down to frame your foot. Lift your back heel, lift your hips, and step back to your downward dog. Little break here, pedal your feet. Good, when you're ready, float to your plank position. Exhale your knees, chest and chin come down. Slide through into Cobra. This time we're gonna bring the elbows out underneath us, underneath our shoulders. You might go a little wider if you're really tight. Arms are parallel for Sphinx Pose. Feet are glued to the floor and lift up out of your shoulders. Looking toward the floor. This should not be uncomfortable in your lower back. So we want to make sure our pelvis is still on the ground. And those top ribs might be lifted off the floor. Looking out in front of you, retract your chin just a little bit. One more breath here. A little deeper into our mid-back area and shoulders. Good. Let's slowly bring the hands down as you lower your torso to the floor. Hands next to your chest again. Chin down. Tuck the toes. Make your way through to downward dog. Nice job. Good. Bend your knees, gaze forward, and then make your way back to forward bend. Again, however you'd like to get there, move mindfully. Holding. See where you are. Maybe the legs are opening a little bit more as we warm up. And let's roll it up. Inhale, slowly come up. Good. Shrug your shoulders at the top to open your chest. Back to your mountain pose. And we'll inhale, reach it up. Deep breath in. Good. Exhale, swan dive. Soften the knees. Forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, bow. Hands are planted. You're going to step your other leg back this time, so left leg comes back. Bending deeply into this front knee, make sure it's aligned above the heel. And then pivoting your back foot down, check the alignment before you come up. Reverse your cartwheel up to warrior two on the other leg. Just turn around so my back isn't facing you. Check your alignment. Torso is nice and tall. Arms extend, soft shoulders. Neutral pelvis. Again, you can take it as deep as you want. Make sure you're letting this hip joint open toward the knee. So we're not forcing our hips square and then opening the knee. Let that knee open, that hip open. Gaze to the front. Lift through the torso. Good. Maybe tuck your tailbone just a little bit. Deep breath. Good. Let's breathe in and out. You should be able to see your big toe in the periphery of your vision. Let's breathe in. And then we'll take it to side angle. Forearm comes to the front thigh. Top arm lifts up and over. See if you can get that nice line of energy with the hips low. Heart open. Rotating toward the front or toward the sky a little bit even. Breathing. Try not to, again, lean here. Press into that forearm. Nice and free in the neck. One more breath here. And again, as you come up, I want you to think of this top arm, and we're going to try to touch the ceiling. Lift. Use the torso to slowly come up. Back to your warrior two stance. Gaze to the hand. Front hand again. Let's breathe in nice and deep. And we'll slowly cartwheel the hands down to frame the foot. Turn the back heel up. Let your hands lift your hips. Step it back. Downward dog. Pedal the feet maybe. Slowly moving into your plank position. Shoulders over wrists. Drop your knees, chest and chin. Sliding your legs out. Open your chest, bring the elbows underneath the shoulders again, or a little bit wider for Sphinx, arms parallel. Lift up. Looking down in front of you, kind of between your hands here. Again, my hips are down, tailbone's a little tucked. Open the chest. Squeeze those shoulder blades down and back. Good, one more breath here. Good, slowly let the hands come back next to your chest. As you lower down, tuck your toes, and we'll meet in downward dog. Great, you're gonna bend the knees, and again, make your way to the front of the mat, however you did on the other side. Holding here. And roll it up nice and slow. Back to the top of your mat, to your mountain pose. Good, nice and neutral with the pelvis. Taking a breath here. Good, let's inhale, reach up. Open your chest. We're gonna take a brief side stretch. So grab a wrist and reach up and over. So keeping the pelvis neutral and the abs a little engaged, lift up and over. Good, inhale through center, switch the grasp, and reach up and over to the other side. Good, lift up tall and lower the arms by the side. Shrug your shoulders to open the chest. We're gonna reach back, inhale, lift. And exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Let's come into flat back. And fold again. Hands are gonna plant next to your feet, and we're gonna step both legs back. So starting in a plank position perhaps, and then shift your hips up and back for downward dog. And then slowly, as you're ready, you're gonna take one leg into the sky for three-legged dog. So lift that leg up. Keep your shoulders even if you can, bend the knee. And then tuck your tailbone, engage your core so you're not dumping into your back. Pull the tailbone down a little bit with the knee in the air bent. Good, and then you might play with that and just see what it feels like to kind of really open up and then tuck the tailbone. Good, we're gonna squeeze that bent knee all the way up. I want you to kind of use your muscles to lift the knee all the way through and plant it between your hands for Pigeon Pose. Take the back leg straight behind you, onto your fingertips here. And lots of options. If you need a support under this hip, you can use a blanket or whatever you've got handy, a pillow. We're gonna open the chest here. Take a deep breath into your lungs. And nice and slowly walk your hands down. If this bothers your knee, you're not gonna do it. You're gonna take figure four on the back instead. So be very mindful of your knee. And that back leg should be straight. We don't wanna turn or sickle the ankles, nice and straight. And your hip points in this posture should be equidistant to the floor, so you're not sitting on the side and torquing your back. Yeah, and then you can relax on the forehead, on stacked hands or fists. For a prop here, you can come all the way down, whatever works. Once you get into your position, I want you to settle a little bit. Open your mouth a little bit to relax your jaw. And then really bring the breath to the hip. It's nice to kind of, in this pose, visualize energy coming into that hip, relaxing any stagnation or build up in that hip or stress away with each exhale, just letting it go, letting go. Few breaths here. I'll do a quick demo of figure four on the back. If that's not good for your knee, you're gonna come to your back. Cross one ankle on top. Hand reaches through the hole to connect. Behind your other thigh, relax. Same stretch, different plane. For a figure four on the back, if pigeon's not accessible. Also think about softening in your shoulders here. Relaxing the entire body. Good, let's take one more breath on this side. Slowly, we're going to walk our hands back to frame that knee. Let's come onto fingertips here. And I want you to pull the shoulders back to open your chest here. Take advantage of this position with the lungs. Take a deep breath in. Good. Relax out. Before we come up, you're going to tuck your back toes under if you're in the pigeon. Plant your hands. And then just see if you can lift that back knee off the floor and feel a nice deep stretch in that back hip flexor. So once you lift and straighten the leg, tuck the toes, take a deep breath there. Oh yeah. Good, one more breath. And then relax. Good. And then press the mat away from you, lift your hips up and step it back to your downward dog. Pedal your feet out. Good, and then we're just gonna go straight into the other side. If you need a break, you can take one. So from your downward dog, we'll take the other leg into the sky, three-legged dog. Keep those shoulders even, bend the knee. Experiment maybe with reaching all the way back and then tuck your tailbone, engage your core. See how that feels different. More supportive. Good. Breathe in. As we bring the knee in, I want you to engage the muscles again mindfully. Pull it in. Hover and pull that knee through, nice and slow. Top of the back foot extends, nice and straight. Come on to fingertips, using a prop if you need one, or figure four if you need it on this side. Let's open the chest here again. Take a deep breath in. Good, exhale, slowly come down, pigeon. Whatever position is comfortable on this side. Again, you might open the jaw nice and wide and relax it. Soften the shoulders and the brow. As you visualize each breath relaxing that hip. Nice deep breaths. Nice and slowly, we're going to inhale as we walk the hands back to frame the knee. Again, come on to fingertips and roll the shoulders back, and then relax your hands down. Tuck your back toes under. Gently lift the knee off the floor. See if you can find that activation of that deep hip flexor in the core and take a breath here. Deep breath. One more deep breath. Keep pushing through the heel. Relax the knee down. Come onto your fingertips. One more breath here with the chest open. Good. Plant your hands and then slowly step back to your downward dog. Good. Let's drop the knees, coming into a tabletop position. Walk your knees out a little wide. Bring your big toes together. And we're going to push back into child's pose with the knees a little bit wide. So relax your forehead, relax your chin, for the floor, and just breathe into your belly here. Walk your hands back. And let's sit to one side. We're going to bring the legs out in front of us. You're going to lift the flesh from your sitting bones. Good. And then let's take one more hamstring stretch here. So from here, again, if you want, you can sit up on a prop. So you might hold your, whatever you're using for a blanket to elevate your hips so that you can get into the hamstrings here without really getting into the back as much. The knees can be a little bit bent or straight. Let's flex the feet toward the face. I want you to make sure you can sit up tall. So that's why I'm using my prop. Makes it easier. And then let's point the feet. Stretch the shins. Good. Flex. Feel that light up your hamstrings. And point. And that relaxes your hamstrings. So your hamstring attaches right into your sitting bone. Flex again. And point. Good. And then you can find kind of a neutral foot position. If you want more of a challenge, you can flex your feet. Wherever you are, we're going to inhale, reach the arms up. Deep breath in. As you're ready, again, you can bend the knees more. You're going to exhale and reach long as you can. But keep the back nice and lengthened. We're not rounding yet. Until you can't reach anymore, just let the hands relax anywhere they land on your leg. Thing here to be sure of is to open your chest. We don't want to round it forward just yet. Open the chest. And then maybe the legs can straighten a little bit. So I want you to think of yourself as a V, not like a curled up, right? So we're nice and lengthened. Chest is broad, collarbones open and wide, chest is open. So we're not striving to reach the feet. We're really working this hamstring all the way down the leg. Good. So with each breath, I want you to lengthen the spine. And each exhale, just soften. Usually gravity helps you out here. So use the breath. Good. And I can't believe we're already out of time. So we're going to do one more breath here. Time flies. And lift yourself back up. Good. From here, I'm going to remove my prop. I'm going to take my hands behind my back for a little counter stretch. So I'm going to bring my hands under my shoulders, point my fingers toward my hips, bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. Slowly breathe in. Keep your chin and chest connected or spaced evenly like you were holding an orange or an apple under your chin. Breathe in. As you exhale, press into the hands and feet. Just lift your hips up. Reverse tabletop. Good. Slowly come back down and stretch your feet out. We're going to roll to our back, hands on the thighs, tuck your chin, feet glued to the floor, roll yourself down for just a moment to relax on our back. Let your feet go a little wide. Sorry, I'm going over a little bit. Palms face up. Tuck your shoulders under your chest to open the heart. Good. You might place a blanket over you or under your knee. You might bend your knees if that feels better for your back. Neck is neutral. And just take a moment to drop into the breath, into the body. Once again, relax and let go. Let your entire body completely relax. Jaw is soft, brow is soft. Sinking deeper into the mat with each out breath. If you have more time to relax and stay in your final resting position, please feel free to do that. If you're ready, slowly wiggle your fingers and your toes. And gently rock your head a little side to side. And slowly make your way to the right side of your body to a fetal posture just for a moment. We're calling if you set an intention or dedication for your practice. Sending all my good vibes to all the critters and anyone outside tonight. You're going to use your left hand to gently, slowly push yourself back up to a comfortable seated posture, sitting on your prop or chair if you need. Stand nice and tall. And let's inhale and sweep the arms up together as we gather some energy with our breath. Deep breath in. Feel the hands at the top. Bring that down to your heart. Bow to yourself with gratitude for practicing today. Well done. And we'll bow to each other. Namaste.